Hi everybody, welcome back. We're going to make another all-grain batch today. This will be a follow-up to my first all-grain batch, which is still fermenting on the landing down towards the basement. But today we're going to make a Kolsch, or Kolsch, depending on how you'd like to pronounce it. And that consists of 9 pounds of German Pilsner, German Herzbrucker and German Tradition hops, and Kolsch yeast. So it's pretty straightforward. Right now I have the strike water heating right here on the stove. I'm going to preheat the mash tun in a couple of minutes, and it's going to be pretty straightforward going from once we get into the mash tun. It's about a 75-minute mash there. So let's get started by crushing our grains, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're all set, and I've got a 15-pound hopper on here, so getting the 9 pounds in wasn't an issue at all. So let's go ahead and get these going. There's a less noisy way to do it. I'm not aware of what it would be. And there's the final product. So we'll wait now for the mash tun to get preheated, and we'll be back when we add our strike water. Okay, we've got the strike water in. It's at the right temp. Let's go ahead and mash in the grains. It's usually better if you have someone helping you with this stuff, I think. Now after we get the grains in, we're going to go on a 75-minute mash. Boy, it sure smells good, I'll say that. And once we're done with the 75-minute mash, then we'll boil off to get all the grains out from what might have gotten under the false bottom. And then once that runs clear, then we can start to fly sparge. So back in 75 minutes. Okay, it's time to Vorloff. We've been sitting here for 75 minutes in the mash, so time to get some of the grains out. Quite a few came out right away. Reduce that quite a bit. And then once it starts running clear, I can go directly into the brew kettle, and it's cleaning up pretty fast actually. So once this clears up, and I'm going to assume that I'm going to have to run a couple of these containers back in over the grain bed, but probably not, all in all, not a lot. I'm guessing maybe a gallon will do it. So once I'm done with that, I'll run the wort down into the mash tun, or I'm sorry, into the boil kettle, and then I'm going to lift that up on the stove, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, one step I did forget to mention is I am fly sparging. So at this point I have started the sparge manifold, and I'm trying to match the water going out so that I'm always staying just above the grain bed here, usually by about 2 inches. So this is going to take about, well, I'm praying it takes about an hour. Last time it took a little over an hour. The longer the better. So at this point, all we really need to do is wait for the sparging to complete, and then I'll be up on top of the stove with the wort, and we'll get ready to do the boil. Okay, we've got our boil going now. So it's time to put in our German tradition hops. They'll be in there for 50 minutes. This is a 60-minute boil, and then the last 10 minutes we'll put in our Herzbrucker. And I'll also have the wort chiller in there about halfway through this. So that's it for now. Back in a few. Okay, only 10 minutes left in the boil, so we're going to put the Herzbrucker hops in, and in 10 minutes we'll be ready to start the wort chiller, cool it down, drop it into the fermentation pail. Okay, the boil is finished. I've turned the heat off, and now I'm going to start the wort chiller. Okay, we'll let that cool down, and we'll be back when we transfer it over to the fermentation pail. Okay, we're done chilling down the wort, so let's go ahead and throw the valve, and we'll transfer this down to the fermentation bucket, and then we'll be back in a minute when we aerate the wort. Everything's in the fermentation pail, so I'm going to aerate the wort, and just a slow aeration, nothing major, for about 20-30 seconds. And if you can see it, you can see that it's not some rapid bubbling that's taking place. It's very small. I don't want to overdo it. I just want to give the yeast something to start on. And that should be just fine. And then I always leave my aeration stone running while I dip it into sanitizer. And then I turn it off. And now we're set to pitch the yeast. And that's all there is to it. I'll throw the lid and the airlock on, and that'll be it for today's brew day. For this brew day Wednesday and the all-grain Kolsch, I ended up with a 1.050 for original gravity, and they said I'd have a 1.048, so, you know, right in the ballpark. And here's the rye pale ale. What a delicious beer. Nice head. Cheers. Wow. That is awesome. So next up, we'll probably be in, I would guess, 2 to 3 weeks tasting the American clone type beer, the all grain that I did a few weeks ago. And after that, we'll see how this batch turned out. You know, other than that, have a great week. Have a great brew day Wednesday. Cheers. This has been a Matty Boy presentation. Say bye-bye, Matty.